Hi guys, this is Shayna over at yumiyarns.com, and today I have a fun little tutorial for you on making these adorable little pumpkins. This is just a pattern that I've released with Handmakes. They were kind enough to send me the yarn to do the design with. It's their Swish yarn. If you are interested, I have links in the description for all the materials. They are affiliate links, so if you want to help support the channel, that's an easy way. A portion of the proceeds gets kicked back to me for sending you over for the yarn. However, this was the specific yarn that I requested because I like this yarn a lot. So it was really nice of Handmakes to collaborate with me on this pattern. And this is actually the Lil Punkins Cowl. So it's a crochet pattern. This is just a single crochet background, and we are embroidering these little pumpkins on it. So we're going to get started. This is a very beginner friendly project because this is just single crochet, so it's one of the easiest crochet stitches for the background, and you make that up first, and then afterwards you add on these little pumpkins, and these are really simple, easy embroidery stitches. It's a bullion stitch that we're using, and that's kind of what makes these little swirls that give our pumpkins the fun texture. So what we're going to do, we'll start off with threading our needle, obviously. I'm using orange because they're pumpkins, but if you want to have non-orange pumpkins, that's totally fine too. We're going to work in, so see the pumpkins on this row, they're 2 rows high, so here's one row, here's another row. You can kind of tell because of the holes. So if I stretch it open, you can see here's one horizontal line, there's 2 horizontal lines. So these ones were done in this row is where I started, that's the top of the pumpkin. And we skip this one, and then this is the row at the bottom of the pumpkin. And we'll add the stems after the pumpkins are all done. And just real simply to find where we're going to start the next one here, because I want them staggered in between. This is the row that the pumpkins started on for this row. So I'm going to skip 2 rows. So this is the row that I want the bottom of the pumpkin on. And I'm going to go up 2 because remember the pumpkins are 2 rows tall. So 1, 2, and this hole is kind of right in the middle of these 2 pumpkins, so that's the one that I'm going to be working into first. I'm going to kind of mark it from the front side here, but I'm actually going to put the needle in through the back side to get things started off here. I have about a yard of yarn on my needle. We're going to pull it through, leaving about a 4 to 6 inch tail in the back, basically enough to be able to kind of hold it and keep it in place while you get the pumpkin started. So we have our beginning of our pumpkin here, and remember we're working 2 rows in height, so we've got 1 row, 2 row, so I can either put it in here or here. Crochet, it's not going to necessarily be directly below, but close enough, so we're going to take our nearest guess and we're going to go in this one and back up through the same hole that this came out of, but we're not going to put the needle through all the way. We're going to put it about that far through, hold it in place, and now we're going to take our yarn and wrap it around the needle. 10 times, and see how it kind of, by wrapping this direction, it kind of unwound the plies, so you get more of a textured look. If I would have wrapped the other way, it makes a much tighter loop, so you have a little bit more tidy pumpkin. It also means that your pumpkin might not be as full looking. I kind of liked the textured look that I got with this, so I am wrapping this direction. And of course that will kind of be subjective to which direction the yarn that you're using is spun in. So what we're doing, we're going to pinch these wraps because we don't want them to come undone, but we also need to get the needle through them. So you just kind of carefully work your needle through, holding the tail underneath so it doesn't come out, but pulling all the extra, up. And now we're going to kind of flip it over so that it's facing towards the bottom of the pumpkin. And you can kind of zhuzh it around a bit. You want it tight so it's not like unwinding itself, but you don't want it so tight that it's like not cute, for lack of a better term. So that's about good. I pulled a little bit on the tail from the inside, a little bit from this one. For this first one, you want to kind of pull on both ends just to make sure it's where you want it. Then we're going to take our needle and put it right back in that same bottom hole and up through the same top hole. Oops. Sorry, I don't mean to keep bonking you guys. Do not use the yarns that are coming out of the end of your needle. Grab the yarn that's coming out at the end of the first bullion stitch and wrap it again around your needle. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, pinching the wraps and kind of slightly loosening it without completely letting it fall apart. We're going to do the exact same thing that we did on the first one, where we kind of pull it tight and then kind of get it into place where we want it just by tugging the yarn around and adjusting. And we do still have 2 more to go, so it doesn't need to be perfect at this phase for sure. Not that any of them will be, and that's kind of the beauty of them. We're going to go right back in the same hole and out the same hole. Again, not bringing the needle all the way through and not using the strands that are coming off the end of the needle. I'm going to come back around, and this time we're going to do 14 because we want to do the outside of the pumpkin. So we need a little bit more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And to be honest, if it's not exactly 10 or 14 wraps, it's not the end of the world. That's just to kind of give you an idea of what you should be shooting for. And it's the same basic idea again. But this time we don't want it to go right in the middle like it's wanting to do right now. We want to kind of force it to go on this outside edge. I tend to do the bullion stitches in the same order, so I go this one, this one, this one, and then the final one on this side. But you can do whatever seems most comfortable to you. We're going to go into the same hole again and out the same hole. Same exact thing as last time, 14 wraps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Ooh, you can see how I almost lost that there. And again, kind of zhuzhing things around a bit. This one got a little crazy on me. I think part of that is because of just the awkwardness of trying to film and do this at the same time. But you can also see how you can just kind of adjust it. So then, to finish it off, go right back in that same hole at the bottom. because it's a little wonky, but that's okay. That's part of the fun. They're each their own unique little pumpkin. So to finish it off, it's really easy. You just take and tie a knot. Don't be too tight or else you're gonna make your pumpkin on the front kind of weird looking. You'll have to adjust it even more. The second knot can be a little bit tighter. And then I do 3 because I don't want things falling apart on me. Because I'm not weaving this in like normal, I'm just tying it off and clipping it. Okay, so now we have our base of our little pumpkin done. And so now we're going to add our stem. A lot of my test knitters were doing it where they stitched on all the pumpkins first. I guess test crocheters, test stitchers. They stitched all the pumpkins on first and then added all the stems later. So that is an option. I'm just putting this right through that top one that we had used before. So it's coming right out the top of the pumpkin. You don't need to leave this tail as long, like 2 or 3 inches is perfectly fine, because you're just going to go right through this next row here. My goodness, bad at bumping you guys this time. And back out that same one that we went in before and do it again. And then we're just going to go right to the inside. You don't want to pull it too tight for the stem, otherwise it kind of disappears into the fabric. So again, kind of looser for that first knot, and 2 and 3. And if you wait to clip this until you've tied the knot, you'll actually get a little bit more yardage out of your bit of green for your stem, because now this is definitely long enough for me to be able to do a few more stems without much difficulty at all. And that is how you make little embroidered pumpkins on your crochet projects. And again, they're not perfect, but that's okay. That's kind of the beauty of them. They're all kind of little unique, weird little pumpkins. But I hope you guys like this. Let me know if you want some more fun embroidery ideas for your crochet or knitwear. This is kind of a fun, different project for me. I haven't really done this before. This is actually the first time I've done a bullion stitch. And so it was really kind of a fun experiment project. And basically I'm going to end up covering this whole thing in pumpkins, so it'll kind of look like polka dots, but instead of dots, it's pumpkins. So kind of fun and cute for fall. I hope you guys like it. Have a wonderful day, and come over and visit me at yumiyarns.com if you're interested in kits. Got links below for everything. Same thing if you want to follow me on socials or sign up for the newsletter or whatever, those are all down below too. Thank you so much. Have a great day, everybody, and happy making.